This is question 1 of our evaluation for our short film. The question is, in what ways does our short film use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? We're going to be going through our short film and linking every shot that we've used or a sequence of shots and how we've been influenced or how we've developed or how we've challenged traditional conventions of short films.
Okay, so the beginning of the short film, this is where Lucy wakes up in her bedroom. We're influenced by a short film that we analysed called Dear Dad, where the start of the film and the end of the film is based in his room and him waking up and the alarm waking him up. So what we have done, our alarm isn't our catalyst, but we have used the alarm as one of the first main sounds that the audience hear and the sound that wakes up Lucy. And we've used the idea that the bedroom is like her safety net, which is also a panning shot as we move towards Lucy sleeping in her bed, because this is part of our circular narrative where the film starts and the story ends in her bedroom, and this is where she feels the safest because she can hide behind the screen of social media.
So for the second shot, where we see Lucy sat on her bed on her phone and we see the screen recording next to her head, we thought this would be a good shot to use as it's been influenced by a short film called A Social Life. This is about, A Social Life is about a woman who's influenced by social media and everything that she does. It's like before she does anything, like for example in the film she chops up some peppers, she has to take a picture of it before she actually does the action. So it's like social media is her orientation of her life. The use of the screen recording next to Lucy's head we thought would be very immersive for the audience, which was also used in A Social Life. And in terms of the symbolic code for our film, we thought that the phone really highlights here Lucy's insanity and
influenced her
and her actions,
her potential, her actions, and the future events in the short film. In most short films, the catalyst is usually an object which is really significant in that scene and is usually used throughout the whole short film. So we decided that the glasses that Lucy owns will be the catalyst of our short film because they represent her view on life, really, because of how social media has reflected her actions. So when she puts her glasses on, it's kind of it's symbolically representing that she's got illusions, and the fact that her eyes are open to her reality, which isn't ours, which is different from ours.
The shots where Lucy is walking into school and is sat in the classroom, we were influenced by a little short film called Identity, which we analysed in our pre-production stages. We thought that the mirroring of the setting would be very significant as it represents how different Lucy is to everybody else that's around her. It highlights the kind of naivety of Lucy and the fact that she's still in a school and this school surrounding is supposed to be somewhere where you feel safe, when in reality you've got someone who's on their phone all the time and like essentially stalking somebody who you find out isn't real, but the point is she could be doing that to somebody who is real, and this setting of a school is supposed to be safe, but because of social media it's not.
So another significant part of the short film is when she's in her classroom and her phone comes up with a notification and she checks it, and we thought this would be really significant because we wanted to highlight how social media is affecting her everyday life, even at school, which is like the narrative in A Social Life, where the structure of the film is her making dinner, then her checking her phone, and this constantly happening throughout the whole short film. So when we were in pre-production stages and planning our storyboard, we thought it would be really significant to have, for example, the close-up of the phone with the notification to show how it's that is distracting her from her schoolwork.
For inspiration, we haven't just been looking at short films specifically, and we thought that halfway through our production stage, we thought that our character of Lucy wasn't coming off as creepy or as sort of stalkerish as we would hope. This was just because as we'd watch it throughout after we'd put it together, like a sequence together, we were like, this isn't really coming across how we wanted to. And I remembered an episode of The Walking Dead that I had watched quite recently, and the creepiness of after when Rick's wife dies, he imagines her, and then so from his perspective we see her, but from everyone else's perspective she's not actually real, which gave us a little bit of an inspiration to come up with the idea of Dean not actually being real and disappearing from everyone else's view but still being in Lucy's, because he is in her imagination. And we use the slow motion in this shot to make it, again, more ominous for the audience. And the use of lighting makes it more obvious that it's an illusion. So when we see nobody stood there, the lighting and the editing is very natural. But when we see it from Lucy's point of view, it's very dreamlike and like an illusion.
So the next part of the short film is where Lucy is looking at Dean from the balcony. She is watching him talk with his friends. Or his friends, but he's not real. And we got inspiration from this technically from a short film that we have analysed called Mudboy, where the young girl looks out of the window and the audience sees her looking at a boy, but then you look at the shot again and that boy's not there anymore. So we kind of got inspiration from the fact that the way the audience sees things and the way the character is seeing it is completely different, because obviously Dean's not real. And we also thought that technically using a handheld shot from her point of view without the dialogue would also be quite effective, because it allows the audience to immerse themselves into what she is imagining and what she is thinking.
So at the end of the film, we see shots of Dean again, but this time we see him actually disappear to really highlight to the audience that he isn't real and he is a figment of Lucy's imagination. This was inspired by a short film called Hallucination by Anna Akana. That film is itself about stalking as well, and it's about, again, a girl who isn't actually real. And we got influence from this because we thought it was a really good way to show that somebody isn't real by showing a shot again and then removing it so that the audience can actually understand that, oh, I've seen that before, they're not actually real, and then they can understand it a bit more than just making him disappear in the first time we see the shot.
The last shot of the film, besides the title at the end, is an extreme close-up of Lucy and smiling at her screen, and then she looks up to the camera, and we thought that this would be a really powerful shot to use in the ending because of her character development and what the audience have suddenly realised by the end of the short film. We were inspired to do this by a film called Crush, which is about a girl who is potentially stalking a guy that she has a crush on, and that guy realises and starts to get creeped out by her, but then the ending is actually quite unexpected because it's not her that's the one who's danger, and it's not her who's stalking her, it's someone else. So we feel like we wanted the lasting impression of Lucy to be the correct impression, and also the slow motion at the end of it when she looks up to the camera. We thought it was quite ominous and creepy at the end, and we thought that the audience would be scared by the fact that she's looking into their eyes. It's like an eye level shot. After being distanced from Lucy, she's now looking straight at the audience. So that's like her character development has grown a lot.